The moment you start begging someone to value you, something in you begins to die. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. You check your phone more, you reread messages, you explain yourself again. You lower the standard one more time. You pretend you are being patient, but deep down you know what is really happening. You are teaching someone that access to you does not require respect. And that is where a man starts losing himself. Because most men do not lose their dignity in one big mistake. They lose it in small negotiations. One unanswered text they excuse, one cold response they overthink, one disrespectful pattern they pretend not to notice, one situation where they know they should walk away, but stay because they are scared of what silence might prove. And the brutal truth is this: if you have to keep proving your worth to someone who keeps benefiting from your presence, they are not confused. They are comfortable. They know you care. They know you will reach back out. They know you will explain. They know you will forgive before they even apologize. They know you will keep making room for them, even while they keep treating you like an option. And maybe that is what hurts the most. Not that they failed to see your value, but that part of you kept handing it to them for free. A man does not become strong by convincing everyone to stay. He becomes strong when he stops abandoning himself to keep people close. Look at the pattern. You are the one checking in. You are the one trying to fix the energy. You are the one asking if everything is okay. You are the one adjusting your tone, shrinking your needs, swallowing your disappointment, trying to be easy to love, easy to keep, easy to call when they need something. And then you wonder why you feel invisible. But invisibility is not always something people do to you. Sometimes it is something you agree to because you are afraid that having standards will cost you connection. So you start performing for the place you should have been respected in. You become useful, reliable, available, convenient, the safe option, the backup plan, the emotional storage room, the man they can leave on red because they know when life gets heavy, you will still answer. And that is not love. That is access without honor. There's a difference between being valued and being used. Being valued means they care about you when you have nothing to offer. Being used means they come alive when they need your strength, your attention, your patience, your money, your advice, your presence, your loyalty, but disappear when it is your turn to be held. Some people do not miss you. They miss the version of you that had no boundaries. They miss the man who kept showing up while they gave the minimum. They miss the man who made excuses for their inconsistency. They miss the man who turned their crumbs into meaning because he wanted so badly to believe there was still something real there. That is why distance is so powerful. Not because it punishes them, because it reveals them. When you stop chasing, you stop feeding the illusion. When you stop reaching first, you finally see who reaches back. When you stop carrying the whole connection on your shoulders, you find out if there was ever anything standing on the other side. Silence tells the truth faster than begging ever will. And sometimes the answer hurts, because when you step back, some people do not follow. They do not ask where you went. They do not wonder what changed. They do not fight for the connection. They simply let the silence sit there, and that silence becomes the answer. Not because you were worthless, but because you were giving sacred energy to people who only wanted convenience. This is where many men break. Not when they are rejected, when they realize how long they stayed after they already knew. They look back and see all the moments their body knew before their mind accepted it. The tightness in the chest, the anxiety before sending a message, the way they kept checking if the tone changed. The way peace disappeared every time that person entered their mind. You were not being dramatic. Your self-respect was warning you. But because you wanted the connection, you negotiated with the warning. You called it patience. You called it loyalty. You called it love. But sometimes what a man calls loyalty is really fear wearing a noble mask. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of admitting he invested in the wrong person. Fear that if he stops trying, the whole thing will collapse and prove he was the only one holding it together. Listen carefully. If your absence destroys the relationship, your presence was the only thing keeping it alive. And that is not partnership. That is emotional labor without return. A man has to learn the difference between fighting for something real and begging for something dead. Something real will require effort, humility, hard conversations, repair, and patience. But something dead will only require you to keep lowering yourself until you no longer recognize the man in the mirror. And that is the danger. You do not just lose them, you lose your edge. You lose your clarity. You lose the discipline that used to keep you grounded. You start checking your phone instead of checking your habits. You start building fantasies instead of building your future. You start giving your best focus to someone who gives you their leftover attention. This is how a man's life gets quietly delayed. Not by one heartbreak. By the months he spends trying to earn a place in someone's life while neglecting his own. The man he was supposed to become gets postponed because he is busy trying to be chosen by someone who already showed him their level of respect. That is not romance. That is self-betrayal. And at some point, you have to stop asking why they changed and start asking why you stayed. So here's what you do. Not as revenge, not to manipulate, not to make them panic. You step back because your life needs you back. For the next 7 days, stop initiating with anyone who makes you feel like you are begging for basic respect. Do not send the paragraph. Do not ask again where you stand. Do not chase warmth from a person who keeps choosing distance. Let the pattern breathe without your effort. Watch what happens. Who notices? Who reaches? Who only appears when they need something? Who respects the boundary? Who becomes angry because you no longer serve the role they assigned you? This is not a game. This is information. And a disciplined man does not ignore information because it hurts his feelings. Then take the energy you were wasting and redirect it. Every time you feel the urge to check, build. Every time you want to text, train. Every time your mind starts writing imaginary conversations, write down your standards instead. Who do you want to become? What kind of man are you trying to build? What are the habits you abandoned while chasing validation? What did you stop working on because your emotions got addicted to someone else's attention? Do not just withdraw. Rebuild. Clean your room. Fix your schedule. Lift the weight. Read the pages. Finish the work. Show up to the responsibilities you have been avoiding. Pay attention to your health. Get serious about your money. Return to your purpose. Return to God. Return to the part of you that existed before you started measuring your worth by someone else's response time. Because the goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become whole. A cold man shuts down because he is wounded. A whole man steps back because he has standards. There is a difference. You do not need to hate people to stop giving them unlimited access. You do not need to insult them, expose them, punish them, or make some dramatic announcement about your new boundaries. Just move differently. Answer less when the pattern is disrespectful.
Explain less when the truth is already obvious. Offer less where there is no reciprocity. Stop auditioning for people who already saw your heart and still treated it casually. Your absence should not be a performance. It should be a return to your own life. And yes, some people will only understand your value after they lose access to it. But by then, you may not want to go back.
This is the part nobody wants to say. Sometimes the person you keep chasing is not the prize. Sometimes they are the test. The test of whether you will betray yourself for attention. The test of whether you will confuse anxiety with love. The test of whether you will keep calling crumbs a meal because you are starving for validation. The test of whether you will remain a boy begging to be picked or become a man who chooses where his presence belongs. Because a man with no standards will always be controlled by whoever gives him the smallest amount of affection. One compliment and he forgets the disrespect. One little sign and he abandons all the boundaries he promised himself he would keep. That is not love. That is emotional poverty. And the cure is not finding someone new to obsess over. The cure is rebuilding the man who no longer needs to be chosen by people who cannot even honor him. You have to become the man who can walk away without collapsing. The man who can feel the pain without surrendering his dignity. The man who can miss someone and still not return to disrespect. The man who does not let loneliness negotiate his standards down to nothing. Because loneliness is temporary, but the damage of self-betrayal can follow you for years. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And every time you accept less than respect, you are giving silent permission for the pattern to continue. So stop pleading. Stop over-explaining. Stop trying to make them see what they already had access to. Your value is not proven by how hard you can chase. Your value is proven by how deeply you can honor yourself when someone else does not. And when you finally stop begging to be seen, something strange happens. You start seeing yourself again. You remember that before you were trying to be enough for them, you were supposed to become someone for yourself. A stronger man, a cleaner man, a disciplined man. A man who does not give husband-level loyalty to situations that have not earned basic respect. A man who does not sacrifice his purpose just to keep access to someone who makes him feel replaceable. A man who can love deeply without losing himself completely. That is the man you are rebuilding. Not bitter, not desperate, not available to everything. Anchored, calm, dangerous to anything that tries to make him forget his worth. So if they stopped valuing you, do not collapse. Do not chase. Do not perform. Step back. Let the truth reveal itself. And while it does, build so much self-respect into your life that the next time someone treats you like an option, you do not need a speech. You simply leave. Because the moment a man stops begging for a seat at the wrong table, he finally has the strength to build his own.